Hello, everyone. Today's article is titled Matcha Boom Strains Supply. It looks at how matcha, once a ceremonial drink in Japan, has become a global lifestyle symbol, and how rising demand is clashing with shrinking harvests. The story highlights climate stress, soaring prices, and the tension between authenticity and globalization. Let's pause for a moment before we move into the article. We'll watch a short clip related to today's topic. As you watch, think about what ideas or questions it brings to mind.
Prices for tencha, the kind of tea used to make matcha, surged 170% at auction this year. Buyers fear next year's crop is wilting under a record-breaking heat wave. Before they're ground into powder, tencha leaves need to be shielded from the sun, steamed, and then dried to bring out the grassy flavor. Even Itoen, which dominates the bottled tea market globally, started a new matcha division as matcha went viral.
Now that we've seen the clip, let's take a step back. Before we dig into the details, it helps to explore a broader idea behind the story. This will guide how we understand what follows. This brings us to the theme of tradition and globalization. Foods and drinks that were once deeply local, like champagne, sushi, or matcha, are now global commodities. This spread brings both opportunity and risk. On one hand, global attention creates pride, jobs, and cultural influence. On the other, sudden demand can strain resources, raise prices, and even spark debates about what counts as authentic. Matcha is now not only a drink, but a symbol of culture, wellness, and scarcity in a connected world. Do you think globalization helps preserve traditional foods like matcha, or does it risk changing them too much? Globalization plays a double role in food traditions. On the positive side, it gives local products international recognition. Matcha farmers in Kyoto can now reach consumers in Seoul, New York, and Paris, turning a regional ritual into a global lifestyle. This can bring income and preserve cultural pride. Yet globalization also creates pressure. Sudden demand strains production, and climate stress makes harvests less reliable. When supply falls short, prices rise and companies look elsewhere, risking dilution of the product's authenticity. That is why some say only Kyoto matcha is the real deal. In the end, globalization can both preserve and transform traditions. The challenge is finding a balance where cultural heritage is honored while still meeting global demand. Now, to understand this article better, we need to familiarize ourselves with key vocabulary. We'll go over 3 important expressions, learn their meanings, and see them in action with example sentences. Let's start with amplify. It means to make something greater, stronger, or more noticeable. In the article, social media is said to amplify the global popularity of matcha. Here is an example. The singer's speech amplified the excitement of the crowd. Next, we have unprecedented. It means something that has never happened before. In the article, auction prices for Kyoto matcha soared to unprecedented levels. Here's an example. The company reported unprecedented profits this year. Finally, let's look at allure. It refers to the attractiveness or appeal of something. In the article, scarcity is said to add to the allure of matcha, similar to champagne or truffles. Here is an example. The allure of the city lies in its blend of history and modern culture. Now that we've explored the main themes and vocabulary, let's reinforce our understanding with a summary dictation exercise. Listen carefully and fill in the blanks. Matcha, once used mainly for traditional Japanese tea ceremonies, has become a global lifestyle drink. Surging demand now collides with shrinking harvests in Kyoto Prefecture, where record heat and erratic weather have doubled auction prices for the delicate shade-grown leaves. Cafes and global brands must choose between higher costs and alternative sources, though purists insist only Kyoto matcha is authentic. Scarcity could make matcha even trendier, but it certainly won't make it cheaper. Let's check the answers and review what each word means. The first answer is collides with. It means to come into strong conflict or opposition with something. The second answer is harvest. It means the process or result of gathering crops that have grown and ripened. The third answer is erratic. It means unpredictable, irregular, or inconsistent in pattern or behavior. The fourth answer is purists. It refers to people who believe something should be done or made in its original traditional form. The fifth answer is authentic. It means real, genuine, and not an imitation or copy. Well done, everyone! We've explored how matcha became a global lifestyle trend and how climate change and soaring demand create both risks and opportunities. We also learned vocabulary to describe popularity, scarcity, and cultural appeal. Here's a final reflection. Do you think scarcity makes foods like matcha more appealing or just more expensive? We'll revisit this in our next review session. Until then, keep reflecting on how tradition and globalization interact in the foods we love.